Welcome to Virginia football, the building of a program.
Make yourself tougher. You gotta be tougher. We gotta be tougher. This is how you get mentally tough.
That's too soft. That's too soft. Go back. Do it again.
I see some guys just on the edge. There's a lot of you guys like that. You gotta step off the edge and let yourself go. Every play. Then I'll be convinced you're ready to go. But not before then.
Push it. Go. That's what I'm talking about. That's the way.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the way to go. Get it.
Beginning with episode 1 and ending with episode 18 after the season opener, we'll give you an intense look inside the huddle and the McHugh Center.
This is the beginning of a team that's going to be hard to beat. Proud of the effort. Let's keep it up. Trust me, we'll be a great team.
Starting with its first bowl game in 1984, Virginia football became known for its consistent level of success and place in the national spotlight under head coach George Welsh. Heisman Trophy candidates Sean Moore and Herman Moore led UVA to its first ACC championship and New Year's Day bowl game in 1989. The following season, the Cavaliers defeated Clemson for the first time and ascended to the top of the national rankings. 5 years later, Florida State came to Charlottesville, having won its first 29 ACC games.
Snap back to Danny Cannell. And he hands off up the middle. No, he lost the ball. What are they going to call? They're going to say no. They're going to say no. Virginia won the football game. Virginia, I don't believe it.
Behind Thomas Jones, Anthony Poindexter, and Aaron Brooks, the 1998 squad once again cracked the top 10 and returned to the Peach Bowl. Following a 5-7 campaign in Al Groh's inaugural season as head coach in 2001, Virginia went on to win 32 games over the next 4 years.
Screen to Higgins. Higgins double pass. Has got a man open. Miller the catch. 15, 10, 5, and pushed out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
A 5-7 record in 2006 was quickly erased by one of the most successful seasons in school history. Led by old number 91, the Cavaliers won 9 times, including a 48-0 victory at Miami in the Hurricanes' last game in the Orange Bowl. Virginia was once again in contention for the ACC championship in 2008, but 4 consecutive losses to end the season left the Cavaliers out of a bowl game for the second time in 3 years and left everyone wondering what 2009 would hold.
Many suspect that Al Groh is already on the hot seat entering the 2009 season, and that critical campaign will start tomorrow with William & Mary visiting Scott Stadium. Virginia looking for its first season opening win since 2005.
There's still time to really get this offense together, but clearly right now, they are not on the same page. So Sewell out of the shotgun again, takes the snap, fires over the middle, trying to get that one. Already over, shoots him by a mile, intercepted by BWF. You left? Well, if you're a Virginia fan, maybe better that you did, because it hasn't been pretty lately. Players making their way off the respective sidelines for these two teams, and what has to be a demoralizing loss for this Virginia football team.
Last night's loss to William & Mary was Virginia's first loss to an FCS opponent since 1986. That leaves the teams, coaches, and fans wondering just where to go from here.
As Virginia will take a tough 28-17 loss to the visiting Duke Blue Devils, who have now beaten the Cavaliers twice in a row. Virginia right now is, certainly looking for answers, and it's going to be a long week.
We realized that there was some question about how we would finish the season and how we would feel about our program and the progress that our program was making.
Shinsky takes a knee, and Boston College will escape from Charlottesville. with the victory.
In any situation, an athletic director always is keeping current prospective candidates in the event that a major league franchise might come along and lure your coach, or your coach may retire. We had a very fluid list with regard to football candidates and potential people that might fit the kind of profile that we thought that we would want.
Tyrod Taylor under center. He'll pitch it out. Wilson going to the far side left. He's going to cut it ahead, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. And, well, I think it's safe to say we've hit the low point.
To bring up the elephant in the room, what is the possibility that this is the last time we'll see you in here?
Well, here's what I got for you. The guy in the glass. When you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, then go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that guy has to say. For it isn't your father or mother or wife who judgment upon you must pass. The fellow whose verdict counts most in your life is the guy staring back from the glass. When I visited the guy in the glass, I saw that he's a guy of commitment, of integrity, of dependability, and accountability. He's loyal, his spirit is indomitable, and he's caring and loving. I'm sure I will always call the guy in the glass a friend.
Al Groh is out at UVA. The Virginia grad and two-time ACC Coach of the Year was fired today after 9 seasons and with 2 years left on his contract. He will receive the $4.3 million still owed to him, but after a 3-9 campaign, the second straight losing season in Charlottesville, the search is now on for his replacement.
We can control how our football program is overseen and how it's administered, how it's led by a coaching staff, and we felt as though it was time for a fresh look.
I'm always working at Craig's direction, so clearly I went about the work of trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to have, who's the type of person, and what do we want to do moving forward in the time frame, and you also have to put together your resource package to be able to go after those people. So all of that work was taking place behind the scenes close to the end of the season.
It was kind of apparent after not making a bowl game that Coach Groh was probably going to part ways with UVA, and it was sad to see him go because he was the guy that brought me in here. He recruited me, and I really have a lot of respect for him, and I was a little worried about what type of coach they were going to bring in.
We started the process of gathering names, gathering information. I think we clearly knew what we would have to do and the type of person we would want. We needed to validate that later, and we did, but you start that process of putting together your names first, your short list, and then you got to work confidentially. That's the biggest thing. With a football or a basketball search, everybody wants to know what's going to happen and when and who you're going to go to.
Who would your money be on at this point to be the next head coach at Virginia?
Jim Grobe would be my number one guy.
Who's your guy?
If I was going
I knew that, and you never mentioned it, and I was wondering why you hadn't, because I know how you feel about Jim Grobe.
Two of the most obvious candidates are very close members of the Al Groh family tree, in Mike London of Richmond and Al Golden at Temple. After 9 years of a defensive guru, you want another defensive guy.
Yeah.
And the trend in college football, a lot of folks like that offensive guy. So those are two forks in the road, but I don't know how we could have this conversation without mentioning those two guys, Mike London and Al Golden.
It was easy to see why London was on the short list of candidates when Virginia began to look for a new leader. He spent 2 stints in Charlottesville, first as a defensive line coach and then as a defensive coordinator, with a stop at the Houston Texans as their defensive line coach in between. London won a national championship at the University of Richmond in his first season as head coach in 2008. And as the search for Virginia's replacement went on, the Spiders entered the FCS playoffs as one of the nation's top teams.
Obviously, we're thinking about a number of candidates. When he got to Mike, we had the benefit of knowing he had been here. We saw him operate as an assistant coach. We saw him operate with kids. We knew how he would be with people in general. We all knew about his passion and his enthusiasm for the game, so that part of it was easy.
Don't forget the lessons of last week. It's time for us to turn around and be a dominant defense again. All right, now who's ready to ride with me?
We needed somebody that was going to be able to successfully unify all those different elements and bring people back and take very seriously the leadership role that a head coach can play in terms of putting together a program that people want to be behind, that people want to support.
Meanwhile, Richmond won its first-round playoff game. Then in the second round, the Spiders played host to Appalachian State in a showdown of FCS power.
5 dives, touchdown!
In addition to the buzz surrounding the game, there was also a buzz about London's future.
He can't leave. He's got to stay for at least another season. I'd love Mike London to stay. I think it's a place he can stay and grow a great program.
I'd like for him to stay, but I don't think he will. I think if Virginia offers him a deal, he'll go.
Richmond lost to the Mountaineers on a touchdown pass with 10 seconds left to play.
I've been really blessed to be the head coach of this football team. I tell you what, 11-2, conference champions. Just words can't describe the gratitude that I have for being a part of something like this and being a part of this team.
The question had to be then, was he ready for the opportunity? And it was pretty easy to answer that question. So it became an exercise of then talking to the president, the executive vice president, all getting on the same page in terms of we believe this is the person and can we move forward.
Less than 12 hours after a season-ending loss in the FCS quarterfinals, Richmond head coach Mike London's agent heard from UVA. They want to talk to the former Cavaliers assistant about their head coaching vacancy. London spent 6 years on Al Groh's staff, first as a defensive line coach and then as defensive coordinator. Now, Virginia is believed to have London, if not at the top, then near the top of their list to replace Groh, who was fired a week ago after 9 years in Charlottesville.
Earlier today, we told you Richmond head coach Mike London was being considered for the head coaching position at the University of Virginia. Tonight, the Charlottesville Daily Progress is reporting London has told his team that he has indeed been offered the job as the head coach of the Cavaliers. And now Comcast Sportsnet has learned that UVA will hold a press conference at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. You want to connect the dots, or do I have to do it for you?
Once the news got, back to the players that Mike London was going to be the official UVA head coach, I was in shock. I was quite excited.
See behind me, setup is completed for today's news conference that'll take place at 1 p.m. here at John Paul Jones Arena. That's where Mike London will officially be introduced as the new head football coach here at the University of Virginia.
Please join me in welcoming UVA head football coach and a welcome back to Mike London.
A lot of people made this possible, but I want to tell you something. I could not have done it without the help of many, many, many coaches, players. It's one thing to talk about being a coach, but it's also another thing to really get involved with your players, get involved with the community, and get involved with whatever the university's mission is. And I'm blessed and I'm honored to be back involved with a university that I have a familiar background with. I will make winning a priority, but also by doing it the right way and also making sure that it's okay to embrace the academic qualifications and expectations here at the university. It's okay to expect great things out of its athletic department, and particularly football. It's okay to attract those young men out there that want the best of both world opportunities, great academics, and a chance to compete and play for championships. But I want everyone to know that I can't do this by myself. I need the help of everyone here. I need the help of the fans out there, the students. I need the help of the community, the administration, coaches, and players. I need the help of everyone. It's a great opportunity to be here, and I'm so thankful to be given this privilege. I'm a caretaker and I'm a servant because I serve the student athletes in which I'm in charge of and the coaches and their families. I'm a caretaker of this university's reputation in the academic and athletic arenas. And that's a challenge I'm looking forward to.
coach. I think he's a big enough name from Richmond winning the tournament or the championship, and I think he'll bring in a lot of recruits that Virginia Tech is beating us out in, especially in areas like the 757 and a few of the Northern Virginia players.
Familiarity from coaching here at UVA and as well as coaching at the University of Richmond will allow us to have a lot of inroads to a lot of recruits here in state, which has been taken away by Virginia Tech.
London was my first choice because I can remember when I was sitting up in 537 watching London greet the defense when they would come off the field. He was giving them big chest pumps and high fives, and I thought to myself, that guy, we got to keep that guy because it was a great player-coach interaction. So I was so excited when we got London as our head coach.
Overall, the people that I spoke with are very enthusiastic to have Coach London back at UVA. They say he's going to make a big difference to the football program and to the players that come here.
Best replacement I always thought from day one was Mike London. So actually when that whole thing went down, I was ecstatic. We went through some great times at UVA and we went through some lows too, and he was there through it all. And he's the last person I talked to when I walked off the field for the final time, in the uniform. We lost the Gator Bowl, and I don't think without him talking to me that day, I probably would have collapsed. I was so disappointed.
I think that Coach London is the right fit for this school. And, people wanted a high-profile coach, a guy who had, been D1 and coached at a high level. But a lot of people don't realize that Mike's the right fit for this school. And I think that's the big thing, that we found a guy who fits in our system and who can win here.
Given his time in Charlottesville as a Cavalier assistant, London was no stranger to Virginia's football offices at the McHugh Center. With his new position came added responsibility as well as a change in perspective.
It was kind of surreal because I said, look, when I was here before, I was next door. So now you walk into the office for the first time and the chair's a little bigger, you got more room, you can pace back and forth a little bit more. So it was, you had mixed emotions because I knew that, Coach Grove's office, and I'd spent a lot of time in there under the context of being an assistant and trying to help him do whatever he needed. And now being in there and having the big seat right there was, just kind of brought things to perspective a little bit. But again, it was, felt out of place there for a little bit, but I got real used to it after a while.
We got to find out who our head coach was before Christmas break, and we didn't have to find out, over the phone or anything. So we got to meet with him, and that was great. And I think that was a great first step in the connection that he was building with us.
First team meeting was just to make sure that everyone knew that, there is change has come about, and that to kind of turn this thing around and make sure that these guys feel like, that they're active participants in their own success.
Literally, the feeling in the room was almost electric. And he got everybody so pumped up and ready to go that, everybody seemed like they wanted to play football right then and there.
He told us a lot of things are going to change around here, and he said that he's going to show us what a first-class organization is going to be like.
Coach London told us just that it was a new era, and it was our time now, and it was the players' time, not so much the coach's time. And that's when everybody just bought in and knew that we were just going to ride together.
Afterwards, London scheduled one-on-one meetings with the players to spell out what his expectations would be, while at the same time cementing relationships between the coaching staff and his team.
I had him come in, we talked for about 25 to 30 minutes each, and I wanted to know about their circumstance. I mean, where they're from, even the ones that I knew. Hey, catch me up on what's been going on. What are your hopes, your dreams, your desires? I mean, what do you want to be? Where are you? In this process, this college process, and that way I had a chance to to talk to them about where they are and the things that were important to me. Leroy, what goals have you set for yourself in terms of weight gain?
The goals I set were to gain weight, but be able to move with it also, and try to get stronger as I get bigger.
What you do is going to be important to us, but I know you'll get the guys moving in the right direction. All right, thanks.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So when you have a chance to formulate a game plan for each player, and you build relationships and you build trust on that, then then it takes off from there, and that's how you start the process.
He recruited me coming here in high school, so it was nice, and it was very laid back. There was no tension or anything. It was just nice to talk to him again.
It's been a process of getting to learn these guys more and more, every day. If you ask any of the players now, I think they would tell you, what my expectations are of them.
London's expectations began to become a reality for the team with a set of winter workouts designed by the coaching staff and the team's strength coach, Brandon Horrigan.
During winter conditionings, there are various rules NCAA has, and compliance-wise, but one of the things that coaches are allowed to do, which was helpful for us as a new staff, during the early morning workouts, we were allowed to manage stations and run the players through drills. And we were able to kind of assess, their athletic ability, lateral movement, and things like that.
The biggest thing that Coach London wanted to see is how our team moves. The different positions. I mean, can this guy play this position? Can this guy go to this position? New offense, new defense, all the intricacies of how this thing is going to develop. We have 5 weeks to train them to get them ready before spring football starts. So we had to make sure that A, they were going to get stronger, B, they were going to get faster, and C, we had to get them in condition for that.
It was very much an evaluative tool for us to see how they move, how they run, how they change directions. That's probably key for any staff that's coming in, particularly when you're new, to get involved in a winter conditioning portion of it, because after that, then you get into your spring practices.
That's the way to get up. That's the way to finish.
This is what we need to work on. We got to get these guys fit, we got to get them strong, but we also got to be able to get them in positions that we can see and grade them on athletically and say, hey, this guy's ready to play this or not.
We were pushing guys that were shopping carts, we were pushing vans, we were flipping tractor trailer tires, tug of war, all kind of thing, carrying water jugs for relay. So, I mean, just kind of out of the box, but you still get the benefits of lifting and running, but you make it fun, and the players bought into that.
This offseason, Coach Horrigan was granted a little more autonomy by Coach London with, what he was trying to do. He isn't afraid of trying anything unconventional or anything against the traditional sense of conditioning or working out. But, even though he might be trying things that are a little outside the box, they're still pretty practical and they still function within the context of what we should be doing.
Everything this year was based around discipline. Morning runs, everything had to be down to a T. If you were stepped over the line, it didn't count. If you were behind the line, it didn't count. You had to be on the line. And I think that taught us a lot, and it's gonna carry over into the season, hopefully, with as far as discipline on the field, penalties, things like that.
There's a lot of stuff going on. We're pushing each other. We're working against each other. Offense working against defense, and offense on the same team as defense. We're all, mixed together. Because, when you're on the field, it's black and white offense and defense. But right now, we're all mixed together on the same team, building bonds and friendships. So you get that nucleus built together, and then you work towards the season.
Next on Virginia football, the building of a program, hiring the assistant coaches.
We started the process of evaluating what type of people we want to bring on board to help build what you're talking about. So it was a matter of trying to understand his philosophy, the type of person, and then what it would take to go get them.
What personnel group?
There's a realization, honestly, that we know we have to be where we should be, but we don't want to slow anybody down to get there.
Rasai Dowling decides to return.
What's up? What's up, baby?
Rasai wants to, write one more chapter in his college experience by going out with some of the players that he came in with.
Good old win. Smells good out here, too.
Running the football, it establishes a certain level of toughness and physicalness.
We're going to teach you how to do it, and then we're going to make sure that that's the only way that will be acceptable.
That ball was out. There we go! There we go! There we go! Finish! Finish! Finish, Keith!